Cool.
So, I guess, let me turn it over to the applicant. Because you guys have been working on stuff and, we can give our reaction to what you've been proposing.
Well, like I was saying earlier, and this was kind of what we came up with in order to appease you folks, more modern, much simpler. We can lower the roof, we can try to line up the roof with the lower end of the depot. So now the roof is glass, there's a wire mesh there, but it's glass. That is the height,
Height is 14,
14, so it's shorter.
because the other one was with that extra, doily on top, it was 18. But.
The volume, or not the volume, but the square footage and the placement is otherwise the
It's the
same.
It's the same, yeah. I did straighten out straighten it out a little bit, just because it didn't make a whole lot of sense to, since we weren't trying to match it up close to what we had been. Here. And then we changed the overall entrance mainly. Yeah, we took the advice, given the Hastings. Todd, I don't think you were here, but, the suggestion was to really, to bounce off of the Hastings.
Yeah,
building.
yeah, I've been there. I know
Yeah.
that area.
And I, at first I was a little, I got an ego. But I've kind of grown to like it. It's exactly what we've been talking about it. So this is a more method, sort of industrial, working man, working person, sorry, ladies. And I've actually had a lot of fun with it. Just, it makes it simpler. I did check to see, the feasibility of making the economics work for us, being that, the other structure was much, less to construct. But this I like. I tried to cut down on the glare of the glass by putting in a metal, mesh.
Is it chicken wire glass or is the mesh applied
No, the mesh is applied on the inside,
on the interior
Yeah.
of the glass?
right?
Yeah, I don't think chicken wire and glass is allowed anymore.
Yes, it is.
It is?
You can get chicken wire laminated glass.
Yeah,
Because I know that was considered fire rated until.
Yeah, I mean, it may not be, it probably doesn't meet the whatever
Oh,
the
yeah.
standards are today, but for a decorative purpose, you can still buy it. It's extremely expensive. So the chicken wire is attached to the interior face of the
it's
glass?
actually more than a chicken wire, it's more of a perforated, metal. So it's like a mesh.
Okay,
That we can apply on the inside. Because one of our main, even though it's so heavily treed, we were really concerned about having that much glass in the ceiling. And especially during that west facing side. But it is pretty heavy. So in the situation now, if we were to have to, we could always do interior shade. Like a method nine.
Or else the other thing is you can tint as well.
Yeah, I tinted this from the very beginning, and I've done tinting before, and tinting tends to have more reflection than a non-tinted glass, because it'll have to be tempered. And that gives, if you do it in a sapphire glass, you can still get the clarity in. But I've spent a lot of time in Scottsdale, and some in Palm Springs. And the tinting, although it works great for the interior of the building, it's not such a great thing for the exterior because it does have a tendency to reflect light.
Are you looking at the Starfire glass? Is that what you're looking at?
Yeah, that's what
Those
we
ultra
would
clear
do it in Starfire, so it would be. it
With a
would be-
low E coating?
Yeah.
Yeah. I just think the form of this is simpler, of course, you know, I'm in love with the first design and then the second design, but this is great. This is something that we can really use. I didn't add any light, to because the original one had an 18-inch gutter that ran all the way around it,
Mhm.
a copper gut. And so I did put a light underneath that, so we could get a direct light down. On these, this would just have standard, like a standard rounded 6. But I'm pretty happy with it. The only thing that's not on here is one door that would be on the south facing side, and that's an access door. It goes between the restroom building and we just needed
Okay.
this server back there. For it. But that, nothing changed. We didn't want to change it too much because we've already passed the zone, we've already passed planning, we don't want to
Yeah.
have to go all the way back there and start all over again.
My first thought is, I think that I think it might look better with a bit more roof pitch. You've got your door, the doors are,
This is set 6'5".
yeah. Like, I think I would like it better could I grab your pen? If it came down to the,
Yeah. What was
from
that?
the street, it kind of simplifies that also, if the roof came down to basically the point right
Not
above,
have those clerestories,
right above the door.
not have this like octagonal.
Yeah.
Yeah, the reason for doing that was really to add just to add a more industrial sense to it. Typically, if we were looking at it, if I had more, well, I think I can still do it, and that would be for those to be able to open up for ventilation.
This series of horizontal,
Yeah,
those were gonna be operable.
They can be, or I was going to take a series of possibly 6 of them at the very top and have those open for ventilation. But bringing it down, I think right now it's at 8, 9. Yeah, we're about 10 feet on the face, and we go up to 14.
Mm.
So we're at about a 6-degree pitch. And I think that, to tell you the truth, I thought by raising the face of it, that extra, that you would see less of the glass of the roof.
Yeah,
Because that to me would be the glaring part that would take away from, and then, so you're getting a more interesting facade than you are actually seeing that much glass.
it's definitely a little. There's more to it with that element.
There's a little
Yeah.
Frank Lloyd Wright to it.
There's, yeah, and I think I just, I don't know, it's a little bit of a steeper pitch for me that just feels. What do you guys think?
Yeah,
I think generally the direction of this feels sort of steward to, like, it's not trying to be historic when it's not, so I like that. And as far as, pitch and proportions, I think the drawings, I think that could be finesse potentially, I'm not sure if it needs to be, I would need to see sort of more details, or like a greater, uh, like this elevation, for example, if we could cut out the buildings behind, it would be easier to sort of look at holistically. So maybe in the next, depending on how everyone else feels, but in the next iteration, if the drawings are tightened a bit, then we could really see if it's like a thing or if it's not such a thing.
One of the things that you asked me not to do was to like go into so much like
Yeah,
for this meeting.
I know,
So
absolutely.
I probably spent, 18 hours on this, just at this point.
We also talked about before the start of the signs would be where we talked about. That push the side, and they would be where.
I was not here for that, the last,
Oh, did you see where because I kept the one sign right where it was.
I see this here.
No, this one right here, this one over here
The-
Oh,
is
okay,
exactly where it is now. And then I put that one, it's actually in a more prominent, place.
It would be here, and he's proposing to shift it here.
okay,
I mean, I
the
think-
Cold Spring sign,
The second.
yeah,
The wooden one, yeah.
and the stone.
the flagpole.
And the way my takeaway, we can all, but was that, it's not up to us, it's a combination that we have to go through,
As far as what?
like moving it and where it would get moved to, and if it's on village property. But if there are a series of locations that it could exist, one that was proposed was at the, end of Upper Main, the
Lower Main, right?
Upper Main, where people are coming off the train and
Okay.
congregating by the
The
bathroom.
bottom of,
The bottom of Main Street.
yeah.
Sorry, I just got confused. I was like 90.
Sorry, the bottom of Upper Main as opposed to the top of Lower Main.
Yeah,
Um,
what I had found, and I'm sure you probably have read it as well, because is that there are multiple documents that read that the Sons of the Revolution in 1887
Something like that.
donated it to Cold Spring, and they placed it at the intersection of what they called Railroad Road
Avenue, maybe?
Avenue and Main Street. But that's where it was placed. It was placed, now it's,
Where it is.
People swear, but, because railroad goes east-west,
Mhm.
same as Maine.
my thinking is even if it's in its original location now for whatever reason, and we're able to, confirm that the new proposed location, I would be open to that. And so.
Somewhere in between the entrance to the tunnel and the visitor center bathroom kind of thing. in
Sort of
that
a
area.
garden.
That rounded concrete area?
Yeah.
It'd be a great place to live.
Yeah, something else we found this later, but this was a drawing that was done that has it in a completely different spot than it is now. Just that there seems to be a precedent. I mean, this is obviously a drawing, but
Is it? I think
Is
that's
it
a
a
color,
printed photo?
it's a colorized photo. I
Colored
think.
photo.
Yeah, I think that's a
But-
photo.
it's a photo,
Colorized photo.
but it's still in a different
So
spot.
where is it in that?
This one looks like it would be, it's close, but it's facing a different way.
It's facing a different
It's a whole,
way.
so,
It's facing the tracks,
Yeah.
right?
But isn't it facing the tracks now?
No, it's facing the village now, up the hill it's facing.
Yeah, it's back to the track.
Yeah.
And
The
it's,
rock configuration is.
yeah.
it's a place where, I mean, it makes a lot of sense to me that if you're gonna have something as important as it is,
Yeah, I think it,
then you give it some prominence by,
Well, it sounds like we just need to talk to the
Yeah,
village.
we have
That's a
zero
great
say
image
on
for-
where that,
That's a good image.
that's a question for the village first, and then
Yeah.
maybe we
So
could review it
like
after,
back
but like in terms
We
of
just-
permission.
we felt the same way, like,
Tracy said last time, it's not my property, we know that, so.
So it could be actually in the
So I-
same location, just
Turned around.
turns around.
I would propose if we're sort of getting ready for next steps, that the site plan comes back and if there's an existing site plan and a new site plan, and the existing clearly shows where all these elements are, which I think you've already had for your zoning, et cetera. And the new puts it in this proposed location, or maybe there's two proposed locations, but that's something that
yeah,
then is,
I'm,
exists to be able to be discussed with us, but then with the village. It solves your problem with the building.
Or I can get Lauren's input.
I did believe this is the same footprint that we had before.
I think it's, yeah,
Nothing has really changed on it. Why is it in double?
So what do you think,
It's like,
Lauren?
I don't know.
There's multiple. Are you, as far as the moving?
Well, I'm just trying to hear what Lauren thinks.
I appreciate that it has a smaller scale now. I think that'll, help, as you're walking down Main Street and kind of see the kind of more relationship a little more. I think I'm questioning the pattern in the windows.
Yeah.
The pattern of the window is actually, it's a graphic that my computer picked up because it's really not that. What my computer did was blew up these, the holes, the perforations in the holes are only about, maybe an eighth of an inch in diameter.
So this would kind of read as a screen
Yeah,
more.
because what it did was when I expanded it, it blew up those little tiny holes.
This is-
And I did that at 6 o'clock.
Oh, that.
Yeah, so it's really the same as it is on the front side.
Okay, I was just wondering what that was.
The next iteration, we just need.
Right. then just-
Think-
So that is like a
just-
traditional
it's-
sort of
it's-
chicken wire that's like a 1 inch,
It's-
a 1 inch hex or something,
No,
or?
it's like a hole, like a circle.
It's like a footing.
Perforated metal.
Oh, so it's almost solid.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
almost solid.
well, there's a lot of holes.
Yeah, there are.
Mesh house.
In
Mesh, yeah.
between very small, a lot of metal and a lot of,
And
Holes that are
these are
larger.
exactly the same way, and I apologize, wait, when I blew them up, they blew up a lot. So,
I think we definitely need to want to see a sample of that.
yeah, so
This pattern is here.
this pattern is just the same value on the front. Did I have one on the inside? You can actually, yeah, the mesh itself, well, the holes are about this thick. And there's a lot. So when I expanded the window, it expanded these, see that they're really big and they're actually.
And the reasoning for that is to add some texture, to make it more industrial looking and to help with sun shading.
So
That's my biggest concern.
Yeah.
It's gonna be hot there. That sun is going down, because at the west side, just, it cooks.
I think either end of the
Okay.
building would be.
Lauren, any other?
I had, yeah, there were a couple, so one of the things about the Hastings place that we sent you is it actually has like a brick foundation
Uh-huh.
at the bottom,
Mm.
which is missing.
Oh, yeah, the corners.
Well, like,
Well,
there's nothing.
Yeah,
There
would
kind
need
of
to
just
be
I would
something,
say
right,
that I was really, trying to not commit to any kind of stone or brick at this point. Only because I figured whatever I did pick, there would be a lot of discussion about what it was. So rather than putting in any kind of stone that they had on the corner. Cause they have like a stone brick.
I just am wondering if you'd be open to having some
I
sort
think that
of
would add,
lumber
that would add a lot,
foundation,
I think.
So depending on the height, and right now this elevation is showing that the doors don't have a bottom, right? It just needs to be finessed. There has to be some sort of base and some slab or something that it sits on.
There is a small.
And so then maybe it's the next iteration. And one of my concerns is that it's at least so hard to present this space without it feeling cluttered. And so it could help to have some sort of skirt, so that there's not sort of a field of tables when it's.
Like a
being
knee
used.
wall, like a brick knee wall, basically.
Something like that.
Yeah.
the other.
Well,
I
am I
like
correct,
that
am I
idea a
correct, you
lot.
have a stone wall that's along the street currently?
On the restaurant,
Yeah,
yes.
But we,
this over here is
It's
exactly.
a bar, right?
Oh, no.
So to that point,
Are there photos?
one of the other things that we talked about.
This one.
So can I, this is, what you're showing here, this is the fence, the MTA fence?
Yeah.
Is that what this is?
Yeah.
Uh,
I'm sorry, I was trying to get it out, but when Hunter did this, they did it as a block. And so I couldn't get rid of I couldn't just put out the fence. Cause it's part of the
So-
catwalk.
there's a wall, you know. So kind of what we were talking about last time, there's a roof that comes out here, right, or does it come out from here? And then there's a wall, then there's a fence. So we talked about kind of, in
So, like-
hardscape, sort of marrying these two
Yeah, so
together.
this actually is, like a steel fence.
The MTA fence or something you're proposing?
No, it's like, it'd be like a wrought iron, we got the. It's like, that's the top of it.
The plastic fence goes and there's.
Plastic fence goes.
A metal fence being,
Yeah.
across connecting.
So
the
it'd be like a
buildings.
wrought iron.
Like a simple rod?
Yeah, this is it right here. Yeah. That's the inside.
I know, okay, I was just gonna, are you able to look on the, file on your computer?
Sure.
Pull up some pictures. I'll see if I have any still on my phone too.
I do appreciate also that you changed the roof, to kind of be more in conversation with this building.
Yeah. I was trying to get it, so, yeah, it just lines up a little bit nicer.
Do you have an
Right.
opinion on the roof? Anyone after my comments on the roof line or the pitch of the roof?
For me, I think it's the next iteration. I think this is big picture and it doesn't have the detail or the clarity to, for me to see it yet. So I kind of
Um,
imagine that for me.
How does the pitch of this roof compare with that bottom skirt of the roof on the building?
It's pretty close. The pitch on the skirt of the depot is probably close to really between 4 and 6.
When you say 4 and 6, you mean 4/12 to
Yeah.
6/12?
Yes.
And let me sort of summarize what we've been talking about. And let me ask the board members, are we,
Oh, yeah, cool. Just curious what oh yeah, it's like a stacked stone wall back in the bar area.
Basically, what I'm talking about, these circles would be about an 8.
Is it possible to get a sample?
Oh, yeah, of course,
Oh,
of course,
yeah.
yeah. Well, I wouldn't think that you wouldn't want one.
Actually.
all right,
Okay,
and
sorry.
let me ask this question. Uh, just to give feedback to the applicant. Are we all pretty much in agreement that this is the direction that we want them to go?
Yes.
So it'll allow you to continue going in this direction. And the questions that we are now looking at is that the pitch of the roof. And is there, something along the bottom, which is either brick, which would match the brick of the building, or stone, which would match the stone wall that is out in front?
I think brick is the way to go. That stacked stone is
Yeah,
not in
this-
any way like
We want to get rid of that stone, that black stone wall anyway.
Okay.
by the bar.
It
Yeah,
doesn't,
it does
it
not
doesn't
go.
work. For what we're looking
And
at.
I think incorporating brick elements into this, whether it's a knee wall around the whole structure or post in the corners or something like that, I think that would go a very
What I
long way
probably
in
would
tying
want
it
to do
together.
is like maybe only a one thick on it,
Of a
because if
meter?
you do a knee height, becomes a trash pit and a gathering for people to sit and eat their ice cream and throw the trash on the ground.
Well, if you have a wall that's, yeah,
Anywhere that they can actually rest their rear ends on, they will sit on. And-
Maybe, I mean, if it's one course
part
of
of the
brick or
building, though.
something.
No, that's what I'm saying, if it was a knee-high wall,
He's right, they would lean on it,
They would-
like if the planting bed is it not going to be?
Bed in front of it anyway.
Landscape.
I don't think it still be a wall, it could be like a course thick, right? It could just be
Right.
like
Right,
flat on a,
yeah.
yeah.
'cause, I mean,
I mean, I think what we're suggesting or talking about is more of a solid base of just to some height rather than glass all the way down to inches from the floor, right?
Right, what we could incorporate it actually into the structure.
Yeah.
Cause in order for us to build this and attach it directly to a slab makes it much more solid. So if we were then to incorporate a brick in between and have the windows start a little bit higher, we can do that and do like a plate above it, yeah. Yeah, I have a retail place in Millbrook, and it has 2 stone walls, and it just becomes insane with people sitting.
Yeah, I'm not suggesting when I'm saying knee wall, I simply mean a solid structure, like,
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
up to roughly that height. I'm not
Okay.
suggesting anything with any depth that anyone would even be able to sit or lean against.
Right.
It's more just to give the building kind of an anchor, like some heft to it, so it's
Mhm.
not, doesn't appear to just be sort of floating on the ground. And I think it would tie into a lot of, obviously, the depot itself and a lot of other buildings in the town. So even though this is a contemporary take on something, it kind of does nod to.
Right,
I'm going to just to keep the design options open for you all. For me, I don't know, I would love to see that and see if proportionally it's achievable. I think there's an elegance to the longer panes
height.
of glass and the height, and it might feel severed a little bit.
Mhm.
And so there could be a version where there's a lower glass element that just has a fritting or a darker color or something that is able to shield the interior.
Mhm.
But still allow the glass to feel seamless.
I mean, you,
Um,
yes. go
Well,
ahead, I'm sorry.
another way to resolve that might be to eliminate the metal in this gable part and have this just be glass. You can keep the roof shaded.
Oh, I think
But-
that should go. I think that should be clear on either end of.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
I
then-
think the roof,
and then-
I get
and then on
the.
side Too,
the
so you're
mesh, but
differentiating between the roof and the
Yeah,
wall.
Yeah, so
otherwise I
on,
think it feels like a hat that's just kind of
yeah,
stuck on.
and that doesn't affect
Yeah.
it in any way. Uh, but how do you feel, I mean, you made the comment about that extra, it's like 18 inches above. And again, the reason why I did it was to add more element to the facade of the building. And then to also have it be a lower tier rather than seeing as much glass as it would.
I think that from most viewpoint, and maybe not most, but a lot of viewpoints of this building are going to be from an elevated position anyways, so you're going to be looking down at it. So that part doesn't, to me, really enter into, or wanting to see less roof doesn't really enter into it as much for me. I think like with a very simple gable roof, a steeper pitch is just more elegant and less shed-like in the way that you go to Home Depot and buy a gable roof shed and it's like a very shallow roof. So I just think a bigger pitch on the roof is more elegant personally,
Well,
but no one else has really echoed that, so.
Well,
while I hear you, I think that the more important element is that the pitch of this roof matches the pitch on the roofs of the main building.
Yeah, and if we did that, it would definitely take it closer to a 8. If we dropped it 18 plus inches, it would definitely take it into,
I guess we would need to know what the roof is, obviously, then what the pitch of both roofs are, right? Are you talking specifically about this roof, not that roof?
Or this, and it looks like they're the same pitch, but
Yeah.
this is the element which I think is important to carry over to the
sure,
to
I
the
get it. And
conservatory.
that's probably close to a 4.
Can we have that called out on the next
Of course.
round of this, both
Yeah.
of those roofs, so we. Yeah,
maybe it gets closer to this.
yeah, I mean, is that the,
That's the haste.
can I see that?
which is much,
That's about a,
that's like a.
that's about
That's a
a,
pretty,
This is more of like a 3-4.
yeah, this is a much steeper roof than this.
yeah, that's
I
a
think it's
6.
we're diverging some. I'm not convinced that it should get deeper yet. I'm not.
Right, so let me make a list of the things that we talked about.
And otherwise, there are not any pane breaks. This is each of these segments is one vertical pane of glass, right?
Yes,
And the roof it
Two.
looks like it's 2.
it's 2.
And you may
Only because
introduce some operable, like louver types along the ridge line.
Right.
Yeah.
The main thing, it being over 12, You can't have, especially in a roof,
Yeah.
you can't have a 12-foot long sheet of glass.
But it's not
It
split in
puts
the
too
middle
much stress on it.
as
No,
of now, yeah, okay.
no, it would be on the upper side of it. And then just add the element, for the cap was, just again, for a more industrial look. Yeah. It's, you know, quite common. And when you're dealing with steel, you're typically always needing some type of cap, mainly for water leakage, and you don't want two pieces of steel coming together without having it capped, and you may as well make it decorative if you can.
When we saw. So somebody that put together the original design went to see it, and they just put steel to steel like it leaks, I'm like, no shit.
I mean, it was really kind of funny because the guy was just, it,
Well, I just wonder if we should add more. Or not.
Well, what I've got is that, you know, obviously there's an issue about the roof line that needs to be developed further. There needs to be some sort of base along the bottom, and that's something which you need to work out, and we recommend brick.
Incorporating some, I mean, I personally, if it's possible to see these iterations as you work, if you're working through some of these ideas, like the next time we see you, if it's possible to see some of these iterations, I feel like that would probably be helpful for us because we can, you know,
Well, just remember that ultimately, when we take a vote, we can sit there and, you know, put a comment that it's approved with the following changes.
yeah, I mean, I think. Yeah, this is gonna be public hearing, like, there's probably gonna be a couple more meetings, I actually think it might streamline and expedite things if we see, like, some, you don't agree?
No, I think being on the design side, sometimes there's moments where you want to share and moments you don't want to share.
Yeah,
So if it's
it would be at your
helpful,
discretion, of
or you can
course.
bring, you know, your computer with other
Yeah.
stuff. If something comes up, you can say, I tried that, it didn't work, see, here it is.
That's kind of what I mean, because like,
I brought my computer last time because I wanted to
Yeah.
show you different elements, and it's also just much easier for you to see.
Yeah.
So
in
it's helpful for
real
you.
life,
Yeah. Actually, yeah, with these renderings, it would be, like, by the time it's printed, I think just having your
You
computer
lose
and
so much,
seeing it will
yeah.
be helpful.
I mean, I'm just, like, I think the roof is a perfect example. I personally feel that it needs to be pitched steeper. Some other board members don't. We come back, if the next time we see you, there is one version and it is one or the other, that doesn't necessarily satisfy whoever, you know, like, so if it's possible, I think that would be valuable, at least for me.
And I think they also need to take a stand on what they want, so that
Sure.
we're like, okay,
Yeah,
this is
But
like.
as I said, the main thought with this was, it seemed like most of you were in line with, if we get it, we'll get it almost exact, but to match the roofs of the depot, that was the whole point.
Yeah, that's where I took it, up to almost 10 by adding that extra element. And then rather than having a sheer piece of glass that goes to the roof line, I thought the extra element of the upper window, adds a lot more to the building. And then it also reduces the amount of the pitch of it
How are you envisioning heating?
by cassettes. We would do cassettes, that would be hung from the ceiling, that would be above ceiling height.
Well, I guess that's the one question. I'm just assuming that there is no hung ceiling inside. It's all the underside of the.
Right.
It'll be exposed now, yeah.
Yeah. And so
Well,
with the-
radiant heat too.
Yeah,
on the
with-
floor.
Yeah, so the floor would be raised.
And is there cooling or no?
Yeah,
Or would you-
cooling would be the cassettes. Yeah,
Okay,
the cassettes now are operating really, really well and you barely see them. I just did La Sorella and Fishkill with, and I did the entire front dining room with 6 of them.
That's with like a chip ceiling.
Oh, and they're great. I mean, they're remote control. Each one is under their own remote control.
I think the harder, because I agree, I think they're great now compared to where they were, and they're pretty solid generally. But if the ceiling is exposed glass and they're hanging, sort of what that element looks like from below and
Yeah,
Through the windows from the street.
windows, what the,
but see,
I'll give it, I mean, this is Al's question, so I'll give it back to you to
but
finish
that's,
where you're going with it.
you wouldn't see it,
Yeah.
you wouldn't see it from the outside because they would be above that, that first break.
Mhm.
Yeah, so they would be in that area of that
Very
18
good.
inches, they'd be above that.
okay. Okay, now, the other thing that we do need information on placement of things like, the stone and the flagpole. The sign, we see the sign here, one of the signs. Are there anything, is there anything else that we need to?
I would request, again, they have it already, the existing site plan, which is very clear in the presentation to zoning, and a new site plan that is equally clear that has those elements placed.
Okay. All right, but I just want to be specific as far as the items that we're concerned about relocation or placement.
I think we even currently have the default image on it, at least placed in the existing and then shown to be removed in the new if it's not going to be removed. So
Okay.
acknowledge that those are changes.
Are you, do you object to where, the wooden Cold Spring sign is between the building, the new building and the restroom building?
You're talking
Here.
No, right?
Yeah, there's
Yeah,
another.
so the bike rack there.
It's not a metal sign.
No, it's wooden.
You're saying yes.
The poles are metal. I
Oh,
don't know what the sign's
Okay.
actually.
I think the sign is metal.
It's metal.
Be sure it is.
I'm not, as long as it doesn't look like it's stuck between two buildings, I mean, it needs to feel, and like that's,
As long as it doesn't,
look like it's shoved between two buildings,
Oh, sure.
needs to feel like there's enough space for it to breathe and,
it's,
otherwise,
it's
if
not
it does,
it's really not that big of a,
if it looks like it's just squeezed in here, then I would say maybe even here would be nicer, so it's in front of the glass. And sort of branding that there's building as part of that building. That maybe, I'm not sure yet, but that could work. Obviously not in front of your door, that doesn't work.
Are these 2 trash cans?
no,
Those are the super
boxes.
thing.
Mailboxes.
The current probably.
On Al,
Right in front of the,
But it's right in
Good.
front of the
kiosk
window.
and they are,
they are there.
they're right there, in front of the, the
Well,
City of
Crane.
Commerce.
You walk out,
They're right there.
This is just drawn kind of not correctly, right? Like all this asymmetry happening in here.
It's especially in this, the upper part of it, yeah.
Right.
Graphic scaling issue with.
I just mean the way that the glass is, the glass on either side of the door
Yeah,
is.
it's not rectified.
Smaller than-
No.
Yeah. Okay.
This is me, at 11:30 last night, putting those in.
So this, the other thing that was, you don't wanna see the metal.
Yeah,
Right.
the gable ends.
Yeah,
That's fine.
or on the sides and the upper portion.
Well, I thought that was this continuing around at the gable ends.
I guess it would only continue at the, if it continued, technically, it's only that first 18 inches and then above is TBD, but I'm not sure.
But why
Design wise.
wouldn't it fill the area of?
I mean, that's they're proposing it does, yeah, I think these guys just don't.
I don't like it there.
Well, the thing is that, again, that graphic is not correct.
Yeah, it's gonna
Right,
read as
right.
basically solid almost.
Should we be open to seeing what it looks like when it, like, seeing an elevation that's drawn to scale and seeing material and then?
Yeah, I mean, I think that kind of goes to my point of like being able to see different versions of things, because the way I am imagining it looking, I feel like it is not, I think it would look a lot better, clear, but maybe I would rethink that if I saw it.
I think that,
You know, I think in this vision of it, it's just basically gonna
Yeah.
be nearly a solid
If I-
block with like a ton of tiny dots, so.
I'll get it to where you can, because I really do think on the ends, it would add an element of interest much more so than if it was just, even if it were brick on the bottom, then we have brick on the bottom, then we have a sheet of glass. Because we don't have that extra layer of upper window, so then it becomes a whole glass and then another triangle of
It's
glass.
just, in my opinion, it's not part of the roof, so I don't know why it would match a
on the
roof
inside.
element. Yeah, that's, I mean, that's
I
not
mean,
an ideal situation, but it's like, it's not part of the roof, so to me, it's like, it would be like shingling. You have a shingle roof and then you're shingling sides because you're trying to cover something up. That's how I would read that.
Well, I think that, basically, if you take whatever the element is along the long facade and do the entire end, at least that becomes a complete element, and, it's like a hat on top of the roof.
That's what
On
I
top
said
of it.
before in a negative way, yeah.
It's a very strong design move and aesthetically, I'm not convinced right now, but depending on the application of the material, depending on how it's united with the glass below, it could look okay. So I'm not, I mean, it might not, but I'm open to them trying to solve it if it helps with heating and.
I mean, I agree it to the point of not seeing HVAC equipment hanging, but at the same time, building systems are building systems, and I may rather see building systems hanging than have something aesthetically kind of not work
Mhm.
right with the building, the way it's constructed.
Agree with that. I think maybe
So,
they could
yeah.
get there, but.
Yeah.
Well, we'll agree to disagree. All right, and is there anything else that you guys would like?
So,
some
sorry,
opinion?
I just wanted to clarify with the roof situation, because when we left last time, it was try to line it up with the depot. And now getting different.
so
Well,
that's me saying about the pitch, but I think, I mean, the height of the roof, I think for
Mm-hmm.
sure everybody is in agreement is definitely is correct now. I think it's more a matter of the overall design of it and dropping the pitch or increasing the pitch or not.
Well, that's what I'm saying, is if we just say, hey, we got the pitch of the lower roof of the depot, we're gonna match it the same pitch on this one. That should be like, that's settled then.
Well,
If
it's settled for
3 to
me.
1, then
Just be able to have a couple concrete, like, hey, these are things we have to do, we can just do that, done, no problem, have to talk about that again.
Yeah. Well,
mean,
the thing is that, ultimately a design needs to be, integral to itself.
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, we can talk about certain elements and, individually, but ultimately it all needs to come together. So I don't think you can sit there and say, well, if we do this and this and this, that's it. We don't revisit it. That's not,
Just have to find one thing that maybe we could hit and say, hey, yeah, do that.
well, the height of it.
I think that-
Struggling the most with, like, there's a lot of different variables to all this.
Well,
Yeah.
I think the height of it and the configuration of it, definitely, I think we can all agree that,
Definitely in the right direction for
Okay.
sure.
I think the pitch will work. I'm just, until it is like a puzzle, until the rest of it's fleshed out, it could work, but the other elements make it not work. So I would say, yes, let's assume, but be open to adjusting it if we realize something else is now canceling that out.
saying for the next seller, hey, we're gonna make it the same. We'll see how that goes.
That would be my,
And you're saying the same as the porch or the
Yeah.
awning roof, not the roof of the main building?
going to be the same.
Yeah. Again, that was the conversation that we had.
Right.
Yeah.
Then also, this probably should be drawn to show the extended,
You wanting?
Mhm.
or, well, it's more than an awning, is actually,
There's a
Is-
post down and then there's a stone
yeah,
wall.
I mean, I think going back to Kate's comment, it'd be nice to sort of have a drawing of the existing conditions and then, what you're proposing. And,
For the rest of the patio?
well,
Like an elevation.
yeah, well, for example, this is not a correct elevation.
The fence, the roof line, all of
We
that
can-
stuff is not
yeah.
exact and
We
correct.
can do that.
Yeah, and
It-
it
it's
just
just a
becomes a
matter
question of
taking
knowing,
the
for example,
I didn't want to.
I don't think that's gonna change in the near future, right? Am I correct?
Well, the fence, they're gonna,
The fence,
Fence, we did talk about
Yeah.
changing.
okay. But I
Right.
mean, everything else as far as the bar outdoors, and that's not gonna change, right? Well,
not now.
Yeah, not now,
Not now.
obviously, yeah,
Yeah.
we're not proposing.
So that, that's what we're trying to do, just trying to get an idea of, this is where we're starting and this is where we're gonna end up,
Mhm.
And trying to kind of marry the
right?
two together.
Okay.
So, yeah, so if there's some sort of fence or a low wall or something, that would be good to show.
Okay.
Yeah. And all elevations, I think, of
Oh, yeah.
the new structure. So
And
the
back
lighting
to-
you said was, you were kind of limiting the out exterior lighting to just at the door, the egress, okay. Yeah, okay. So the screen on the interior of the roof is obviously gonna block a lot of sunlight, which you need, and also block
A lot of uplight.
the uplighting from the inside of the building. That was kind of where I was just working out in my head, okay.
Since it is an all glass building, understanding the light loads, this is what we touched on last time, and as we progress, the light loads on the interior as far as impact on the exterior at night, like the lantern effect and like, I'd like to make, I'd like us to ensure that it's calibrated to our guidelines,
Yeah,
and so it's not too bright.
That wasn't settled, that was on the planning board. No,
Light loads?
just, yeah, the lighting and whatever, the watts and how bright it is and all that.
They might also have specifications of the brightness. I
I don't
think
know,
we
Al,
have,
you know?
in our design
Planning
guidelines,
board.
talks about what types of lights are acceptable.
light
They
loads,
don't-
it's
they don't-
obviously a
they
unique
don't
thing, cause it's a
care.
glass building, which we don't.
I don't think,
I don't know how
We
that-
didn't have any,
let's ask our building department expert.
So the planning board does typically ask for a lighting plan. I know that what they ask for is whatever that's called, that night friendly, midnight
Mm.
friendly, whatever.
Our size.
There you go.
and I gave that to them.
Okay.
Yes,
But
Um,
in the original one that we presented, I gave them the entire light plan down to each fixture.
For the exterior.
Uh-huh.
So I guess I'm just
The
concerned
interior,
about
right.
the interior. How it's basically, will be more light than the exterior light itself.
Because it's a glass building.
Yeah, and that was where I was saying that I'd corrected it in the last one so that it didn't have any kind of exposure that you would actually see a bulb or you would see, we'd do it in shades.
So maybe-
So the light would come down rather than out.
Right.
Okay, just for the-
So you've already gone to the planning board and they,
Yeah,
Okay.
we got approvals from zoning and.
Yeah. Zoning
So-
and planning, yeah.
my question is that when do we wanna have the next workshop?
I think I would like to, I'd like to, now that I know where you are with this, I think we're ready to go. I think I can give you I can give you enough.
Well,
And then that-
our next meeting, is November.
15th or 20th.
21st or something?
18th, right?
No.
No?
Here, Google Calendar,
One,
There's something not here for
three.
it.
on 18
No.
Tuesday.
Oh, shit.
Mhm.
I'm remote then.
Well, so application materials are due on the first
Mhm.
for that, right?
Okay, but the thing is that, their next step would be a public hearing.
No. We
That's-
have to,
that's
we
what
have to,
Asking for.
Who?
You were just asking for that, right? Instead of having another workshop.
I don't
Yes.
think, wouldn't be ready to vote on having a public hearing at this time. I would need to see much cleaner drawings and material
Yeah.
samples, et cetera.
Okay, so then what I would suggest is that we have a one more, workshop. And then proceed to a public hearing after that. If you, one more workshop where most of these questions that we are now raising have been addressed. Sent to our satisfaction, and then we can go to a public hearing.
This is steel construction or aluminum?
Steel.
This is steel. So, okay. I think lock set, I mean, even, like lock sets on the door, like a detail on how a closer up kind of drawings of the operable doors and how those interact with the surrounding windows and the clerestory windows, because obviously operable and fixed are very, very different. If windows are being proposed in the roof line, how that would be, yeah, details.
Station. All materials.
Okay, so, how about the 11th? For the next workshop? Oh, that's
Is
Veterans
it
Day.
open?
No, it's closed, and we can vote here. Find it.
I believe so.
Is the 11th okay?
It's a national holiday.
Yeah, I think we're closed. I'm not 100% sure. Surprise to me.
Okay. But, I mean, we're talking about, I would say, because now we, I think we had a major step forward in an hour, and I think
Yeah.
that we should do another major step in another hour, so. It,
I mean,
I know the office is closed, but does that mean that we can't have any, meetings?
sorry, can we just not do it on the 18th as an hour workshop as part of the overall, our general meeting?
I think we have
Yeah, a
started to have a
couple,
bit of a.
mostly solar.
Is
I
it
think it might be a fence and another. So.
I mean,
Well, what
Oh,
do we
I'm
have?
remote, so I'm gonna be 3 hours behind you guys, so I'm good. If it goes to 11 o'clock, I'd be all right.
we do the
11th or the 18th, right? The 18th is when we have our meeting.
10th on Monday,
Mhm.
we could do a Monday, which would avoid the holiday.
Sorry, I'm zooming.
We're zooming in from California.
Well, we can't do the 11th anyway. If it matters, I have an event that I'm hosting apparently, so. I can't do the 11th,
So you can't do the 11th anyway.
correct. Unless you don't need me, but
Is Monday the 10th a possibility
yeah, I think-
for the village hall?
Looks like it.
You just have to let security know.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the last time it was, I think it was a little bit of a mess. It was hard to do it like without normal hours and without Abby. It just was a little bit, like we didn't record it. All the lights were out. The cops came down from upstairs to let us in. Well, like we did it, it was fine.
September?
I guess so. Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause it was locked, and so we had to get the cop upstairs to come
It
down.
was fine, but it
Something.
just felt like let's avoid that if we. Yeah.
I mean, if, in order for me to join, I would need to Zoom.
Could we also all just Zoom if it's a workshop anyway, and we're not making decisions? That'd be amazing.
That's a good point, Al. Are you open meetings? I mean, you would still have to vote to adjourn, I would assume, and that counts as you can't vote without being here.
Quorum in person.
Yeah, Monday should be
We should have
fine.
another meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's confirm tomorrow. It should be free with the court, but let me just,
Monday the 10th.
same time, 7:30.
That works for everyone.
I'll have the kids.
So there's no, also one random question. The interior is just movable tables and chairs. There's no,
There will be a temporary, bar setup. That we.
That we can move
that we-
seasonally movable, non-permanent.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we can set up as we need it.
Oh.
There's at 7:30. With him.
Yeah, Abigail's gonna confirm, but I guess we should, yeah, put it in. Set the 10th.
And it's quite easy for me to get and to do all the details, that you're looking for. They're all there. In order for me to construct these, these buildings, I have to actually build them anyway. I use Chief Architect and CAD on them. So the windows are real windows and the structure's a real structure and the doors open and close and all that. Right now, like if I wanted to, on my computer, if I wanted to open the door, just hit show open. So it's not difficult to bring in something close and show you the details on it. But yes, it's what I do every day, so. It's easy. I didn't, I wanted to bring this in as we planned before putting that much into it. And now that we have feedback, it's, it will be pretty easy to turn this. Yes, it'll be very easy. This is because the basic structure is already, the hardest part of doing this is building the structure.
Well, I think that we have taken a major step from the last time when we met and also, and I think that the design is moving far enough along that, we should be able to, see exactly what this is gonna look like,
Mhm.
so.
Yeah. And I can bring it in different formats also where. Yeah. Notebook doesn't have the best printers.
Okay,
All right, cool.
do we have other things that we need to deal with?
Yeah, we do. We meet minutes. You guys want to stick around for our meeting minutes?
Nope.
You didn't make the cut. We didn't do a bullet point. Depot Square walks into meeting, not on agenda, politely told not on agenda. Sets up computer, unsets up computer. I was like, huh?
Have a lot of meetings. So sometimes
Yeah.
most of the time I have no idea what day it is.
Yeah.
Greg works me like a dog.
Oh,
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I appreciate your input and we will make this.
See you in a couple weeks. We'll see you in 10.
We'll make this work. No doubt. Thanks again.
So, good night.
Yeah, just last, yeah. I just think responded with a couple
Yeah.
little things. Obviously we could write a novel about 159 to 161, but I don't know how. I mean, do we get in?
For the 159 one, there was Lauren, we agreed Lauren would write an email confirming that the building department would review the application prior to us reviewing it. And that should probably be in here.
Did anyone respond to your?
No. I don't think they reviewed it,
Yeah, I'd feel the same.
but it sort of, it
Hopefully they-
doesn't matter at this point because he's withdrawing the
Yeah,
application.
and, I mean, it's really sort of a moot point because we have the issue whether it was reviewed by
Yeah.
anybody else first, doesn't make a difference.
But now it does, right? He needs to show it to the building department first before bringing it to us.
I mean, the hope is that the process now is like it normally is, where if somebody is like building something and the building department looks at it and then refers it to us, not just send it.
Is there a deadline for him to do that?
So-
Well, no, but let's just be very clear. I mean, the normal process is that it is submitted to the building department. The building department then refers it to us. Now, in this case, it happened to be a little bit different because we were raising the issue. But in effect, that is the normal process. There's
Correct.
Nothing changes.
Steps. So like, is he not gonna do anything for a year? Is
Well,
that what he's
so-
been building on?
So two things, I think, to speak to your point, what we at least are concerned about is that we flagged it and the building department just sent it right to us without looking at it and determining whether it needed to go to zoning because there, I mean, he said what he submitted to us is what he submitted to the building department. That application would not pass muster to build a structure and attach it to another structure. He would need a site plan. He would need all these things to prove that it's on his property, that it doesn't need a variance for the set, all the stuff. That is what we are concerned about. That kind of just got like a little bit bypassed because we're the ones that flagged it. That's why Lauren sent an email to them to kind of qualify. And so hopefully he does exactly what we all agreed, which is rescind the application and resubmit it formally to them, and then they go through the regular process. Is that correct?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
if we just wrote the email to say,
Making
things
sure,
like this happens. And then
Yeah.
hopefully going forward, it won't happen again, but we can refer back to it if it does.
and then as relates to like how much time he has, I don't know, I don't know.
Work order is gonna get fixed in 5 years. I'd
No.
like to know what.
That's what my letter,
Am I not correct that he's been cited by the building department?
that's not work
He
order.
was, but does he get charged fees now, or he started the process, so he's. Like, does he have any, is there any reason why he would need to rush through this? No.
No.
That's- So this is what, did you guys read the letter, my October update that I sent out, I think yesterday, or the day before, for the violations?
I haven't read the updated
Okay.
version. I think I
So-
read the first.
So read that. I think it requires some refinement, but it goes, it as relates to this property, as relates to the two other open violations that have now come before us, 1, 2, or almost 3 months ago, and have not corrected the things that they said they were going to correct. I feel strongly that we need to ask the village board of trustees to define some standard for when this happens, that there is a recourse. Because otherwise, exactly what
The
Cozy.
only recourse we have is the village imposes a fine.
Exactly, that's what I'm asking, and I think that if somebody comes before us or doesn't come before us, give them, clearly define a 90-day or a 120-day window of time that they are able to, you used up your window of time, you were notified on this date, you were reminded on this date, and now the window is closed, and now you are subject to these fines. Because otherwise, what is going to happen with Cozy Corner, clearly, Kate told them sideline after the meeting, oh, no, you have to take that greenery down too. That was 2.5+ months ago.
Yeah, he just.
And
said
it's not
part
happening.
of-
He hasn't fixed the sign that he said that he knew that, okay, you'll take the sign down or you'll hang it flush so it's not overhanging the sidewalk. None of that stuff has been done. We're closing in on 3 months. That was an August meeting. The same with the Foundry Rose, which we've now established also that we were point blank to our face lied to about the windows. Those windows were not existing. Those windows were installed by the current tenant of that space. We have photographs from last year and from prior years that show that those windows were full height. So we were lied to during that meeting, plus he has not come back the way he said. I'll be back in October at your next meeting to talk about the fence posts. So I think that our next letter needs to ask the village to set up some kind of standard and start instituting fines. That's my opinion.
Not set up some standard, verify or endorse some standard that we set.
Sure.
I think that we need to, because realistically, if you're asking them to make a decision, I think that, what is it? It's easier to get a forgiveness rather than approval.
Yeah.
So I think that next step is that, I saw Kate's one-page summary. I think what we do is we
The
should,
spreadsheet
yeah,
of all the violations. Yep.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, and I think that we should send it to the mayor and the board of trustees.
I need a new letter that actually includes the information, including an update on the other ones. That's what I sent out twice this past week. So I would appreciate if everybody looked at it and said, I agree, I disagree, can you change this to this? And it provides color on what's going on more than the spreadsheet. The spreadsheet is super valuable for us internally.
Do we do that?
Yeah, I mean, I forgot my laptop. I meant to bring it tonight
Okay.
exactly for that
Are you
reason.
looking? Since you're the only one who has it.
oh.
If not,
sure, I
it's
was
fine.
thinking about shutters to see what we think about shutters. And listening at the same time. Don't worry. Yeah, let me pull it up.
Because the other one is the old antique garage warehouse, which has not responded at all. And we sent the initial letter back in June. So it's now been 5 months and there's been no contact from them, and they obviously have no intention of dealing with it because it's a major mess up on their part.
Does anyone want a water?
Al,
One?
Which one is the thing that you're looking
Todd sounds a little upset.
the new letter that you wrote. I think.
at? Oh, because, yeah, so
Because
this is a new letter.
It's an updated letter, including these, and I think he's asking the question. Posing the question to the village. Can you please give me the timeline so that these things can be enforced?
I see, saying I screwed up. I know.
Well, all right, maybe maybe the duration is thank you. 6 months, and say at 6 months, the fines start.
Well, there is a fine that's been specified, is it $500?
It's, I don't know if it's 250 or 500. I think it's per day.
Yeah, typically it's.
Look
per
at that.
day.
We're lining the village's coffers, just like that.
I know.
More educational programming.
That means we can double our salaries.
Yeah.
Want me to just read this out loud?
Sure.
Hold,
Sure.
and then you can, I can like.
Apologies for any typos and grammar mistakes.
Dear Mayor Foley and Board of Trustees, we are writing this letter to provide a new list of properties in the historic district found to be in non-compliance, as well as provide an update on existing violations. and it's enumerated. 140 Main Street, McCaffrey Realty, signage installed without HDRB approval. 2, 38 Main Street, Sweet Tambourine, signage installed without HDRB approval. 3 Stone Street, O Designs, signage installed without HDRB approval. 4 124 Main Street, Cold Spring Hotel, the number of signs exceeds what is allowable by village code, as well as existence of non-compliant vinyl sign, which is only permissible on a temporary basis,
Vinyl sign.
on a fence post.
Yeah, it's a giant vinyl, basically advertising sign on their iron fence in front, and we allow vinyl signs for temporary up to 30 days is what the village code allows.
As far as the quantity of signs, I'm so sorry. I swear I found the code where it says only one sign unless there's a setback of 25 feet and then you can have additional. But we were both looking for that code and it sounds
It's
like
not clear.
that's just a freestanding sign if your property set back more than 25 feet. So the only thing that I can see is that it's overall linear
Square footage.
linear feet based on, or I guess square footage based on linear feet of a facade. And then I would hope it would be up to us, if you have a 30-foot wide facade and you want to do something that's a foot high and 15 feet wide, that's one sign. But if you want to do 15 1-by-1 signs, that we could say, I don't think that will look great, so we're not approving that.
I think I added this to the legal training
Okay.
questions
Yeah.
because I feel like the signage thing has obviously come up a lot
Yeah.
recently, and number of signs is weirdly really unclear in the village code. Not
Well,
specific.
and the problem that the way that we have to phrase this is that we don't have provenance over number of signs. That is a zoning ordinance, am I correct?
But
Well,
no,
this is
in
what
the
we need
village
to
code
find.
section on sign and placard, their entire chapter,
Right.
not related to us or to zoning, it's not clear in the village code. So that's what we need.
It's not clear who enforces it.
It's not
You know,
clear.
Thing I can actually say that helps understand it is the sandwich boards, because they say your sandwich board counts, and let's please not enforce this because this is a little bit too much,
Yeah.
but your sandwich board counts towards the overall square footage allowed based on the linear feet of your building. So to me, it's, if you have 15 square feet, you have 15 square feet, and you can have 5 signs.
And then it should be up to us to determine that it needs to be one sign that's 15 square feet, or it can be 3 signs spaced because of this is what your building looks like.
I was the lawyer, but if we're about aesthetics, then we should be able to say like 3 signs. That's really confusing and doesn't work.
Yeah,
Okay, and does it include, for example, at the corner of Lund Terrace and Main Street, you get these pop-up signs.
that's, it's addressed later. So I think maybe italicize that one or question mark, because I specifically say the number of signs, which we,
Why don't we change it to say, because there is code that says signs that are for businesses that no longer exist cannot remain unless it's a historic sign. So the shops have a historic pharmacy sign.
yeah.
But in this case, the Cold Spring Hotel has 3 signs that all have different businesses, and so there should be.
Yeah, that's,
Regardless of the quantity, the
yeah,
business needs.
like it says Spoon Cafe, Cold Spring Hotel, Cold Spring Cafe, Cold Spring Inn.
So
I think
we're
there are
just
4
need to-
different.
What are the number of signs? We'll just sort of leave that for a second and say the signage does not, this, like the signage.
Comply with guideline or guide.
Signage is not indicative of, current business allowed, which is not allowed by the village code, something like that.
Also, it was done without our approval.
How old are those
I
signs?
don't know. I mean, the Silver Spoon Cafe awning has been there for probably 15 plus years, but then they just like inked out the silver and now it says Spoon Cafe. So maybe this can be an example that during our legal thing, which is probably gonna take 150 hours, he can offer guidance on
I would-
the
I would
actual
like
wording
to Get our questions in order
and give them to him in
in
advance.
advance,
Yes, I
so that
agree.
we aren't spending 150 hours and he knows what we're asking, he
Yeah.
can be prepared.
There's a live doc that's tracking.
Yeah,
it, that's right.
yeah, exactly, so if we could, when's our meeting, December 3rd? Something like
Or,
that.
yeah,
So if we could get everything, if we could make sure our document is done by November 15th or something, and we can share it with him then. So he has a couple weeks to. Or, I don't know, or should we give him more time than that? Should we give it to him?
December 1st, that's Monday.
it's like the first week of December is when we decided to,
Yeah. That's him.
I
That's,
thought we were meeting with him, not next week, but the following.
no, so December 1st, Monday,
I'm
7
sorry,
p.m.
December. Okay, want me to keep going?
Yes,
Okay, so for that one, I changed it for now to say, full screen without multiple signs present distinct and potentially defunct businesses, which is not allowed by village code, as well as existing of not compliant vinyl sign, which is
Yeah.
only permissible on a temporary basis. Okay, and then 11 Main Street, Cape Cod Leather and Culture and Candy Co., more than 30% of interior glass area is covered in signage. What about the neon sign? Someone mentioned neon last time.
yeah, but it's allowed. Neon is allowed.
It's to be permitted.
It does, but I was towing the line between feedback, like of going after every, we could add 10 businesses and they may have had that.
Also grandfathering something in, I think is important. Okay, let's just.
I mean, Claude's has
Well, that's the one where it's like it's brand new.
that's brand new.
But there is Claude's that's on the depot signpost. There's a sign for Claude's on the depot sign, and that was not requested, nor is it on their property.
We
Like,
could add that in if you want to just say for now, just put Claude's, I'll look up the address and.
I mean, there's always gonna be more and more.
Yeah, I'm a little nervous about having a huge list.
Let's start with the basics that are the most
Yeah,
problematic
I
and then
don't,
build.
I don't wanna send an exhaustive list of, I feel uncomfortable with that.
And it's too much,
well,
we can deal with it
what,
with him
then,
anyway.
then why don't, I mean, an exhaustive list includes recent things. Why don't we start with the ones that are approaching what we feel is the
Well, because
deadline?
these recent ones have not even been notified that they're in violation, so I think that's important.
Well, maybe that's a separate letter so that, we don't get bogged down with the business about the fines for recent, non-conformances. How,
You wanna continue just?
Finish
Yeah.
what's in here, so we all are really clear on what's in here, and we can decide what to take out or add or whatever. Okay, and
but have
then,
you sent that, or,
No, this is just a working draft.
okay,
so that's the first section, basically signs that weren't approved, and then it says the board is working with the building owner of 159 to 161 Main Street to address the non-compliant and non-permitted addition to the rear facade of the building. We expect an update from the building owner at our November meeting. That I do think we need to revisit what we say. Should I keep on going and we go back to that part?
I mean, he told us that, right? So should we reframe that as the building owner told us that he would present an update at our next meeting? Maybe we should say that.
yeah.
Again, like, I think the next steps he has to go. That'd be fine if he had gone through the right process, but he first has to go to. Like,
You wanna change it as the building owner withdrew his application and told the board that he would resubmit a revised application to the building department,
Like a brand new.
a new application to the building department. And like,
and meanwhile, nothing happens and he's out of the door and it's a functional space.
He's out of the door?
He added,
Like,
I don't know
since our
how that-
he
meeting?
added a door?
No,
first-
we asked if he would be adding a door.
no, so he was fined and then before he came before us, has he been with us twice or once for this?
Just last week.
But just before last week, he added a door to the back, which I thought I showed you guys. And,
Oh,
and
I
it came up, that's why I was like, he was like, well, I had to add the door because it was like getting wet or people would piss in there. And so I added a door, but it was after he had a stop work order.
Well,
I
if
didn't
I,
know
if
that.
I remember correctly, what he was talking about we're talking about the door at the top.
Yeah.
And what he said is that one of the options that he's going to be dealing with is where it's just the posts.
Yeah, she's saying that after the stop work order was issued a month ago, he installed a door
He continued
to the
working
current
on it.
structure.
So now there's a door here,
He
not just
installed
in there,
a frame and a door.
since
And
our last
and
meeting.
we flagged it it was flagged to the village immediately. And they
Oh, I
confirmed an email, yes, this shouldn't happen because there's a stop work order. And so I don't know, maybe Abby can tell
So
us.
we should say that in the there.
Well, they know, I don't know, it's like,
I mean, honestly, I think maybe we keep it simple and say the applicant withdrew his application and will resubmit to the building department. Like kind of hard stop.
Well-
And then at the bottom of this, when we get into, here's what we would request timeline wise, we can be, and then you know what? If 6 months go by and he doesn't come back, hopefully they start finding
Right.
every day.
When is the monthly report due?
I believe it for the first village board of trustees meeting, so that monthly meeting.
It's when?
I think it's due probably like this Friday, but
Probably
by Monday of the first meeting. So I think this month is November 4th.
Maybe some of this should be included in the
Well, I
monthly
think,
report.
I think that is how we start documenting all of the issues that we have. You know,
So updates on current violations are communicated to the board in the monthly report. Flagging anything new is a separate standalone letter that we send to them.
right.
Is that what you're saying? I think that's probably fine.
I think one line that's missing in here is the HDRB told applicant that existing addition is built would not be approved.
Yeah.
So it's like, they're really clear that that's
Sure.
like never.
That's important.
I don't know that we should include it in the monthly report though, because, I mean, we can in addition, but I feel like it should be a letter because we submitted the letter. Kathleen requested that we do a letter, right? And so let's keep going with the letter, cause it makes it more formal rather than kind of embedding it.
Well, the only thing is that, you know, the monthly report gets documented in the village minutes. And so I think that there are a lot more, they pay more attention to what they get in the monthly reports. I think that, you know, we should maybe use the spreadsheet as a summary, which maybe that becomes what we attach to our monthly report.
That doesn't,
Well,
it's a
okay.
little easier, I think, to write out paragraphs because there's a lot of context for some of these properties that is important to communicate.
All right, but the thing is that as far as the letter goes, we don't want to make it too long.
I agree with you. I think that updates on properties that have been issued violations and have come before us, I think updates on those should be included in any monthly report that there is an update. I think that separately, a letter of new violations, I think that should be its own thing since we already did it that way. And then it's very clear and concise.
Yeah.
Do you,
Well, how long is this email now?
Well, this will be like, it's
Have we
almost,
passed 35 pages?
it's like 2 pages, and we're getting closer.
you would
I
know
think-
if you read the 2 copies that I sent out.
I know, I did.
My gut is that when we see a violation in town, or someone comes to us and say, hey, my neighbor's building a porch. And there's a form that we now have that was requested to be used for this. We use that form because it enables the building department to move forward. I think this letter also enables the village to send this letter that we're writing with that, the violations, to send immediate letters out to different building owners. And then the minutes allow the board to review holistically and it to get documented. So I think everything serves a different purpose and they all are required.
All right,
Okay. So it now says, the board is working with the building owner of 15961 Main Street to address the non-compliant and non-permitted addition to the rear facade of the building. HDRB told applicant the addition as built will not be approved. The building owner withdrew his application and said he would submit a new design application to the building department. Okay, regarding other violations from our June 2025 letter to VBOT, the following properties remain non-compliant. On 2931 Main Street, the tenant met with the board at our August meeting and the violations were explained in detail. The board asked the tenant to remove all faux plastic greenery from the building as well as sections of non-approved fencing and IKEA wood floor tiles under an outdoor seating area. Some of the greenery was removed and the floor tiles were removed. There is still greenery and fencing that has not been removed. The board asked the tenant to remove the board asked the tenant to remove one sign hanging on the porch railing and to make one additional sign that is projecting over the sidewalk be flush parallel with the porch. This needs refining.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it should be. I think we could just say open items not addressed are blah, blah, blah. Like we don't have to articulate what they have done maybe. Because they have the old letters, they could see what they've done.
Okay.
If we're just trying to simplify. We could say. While some the greenery is removed. There's still greenery. And fencing, what is that thing? Oh,
on either side of the
Yeah.
seating area, there's those picket fence sections that are stuck on there.
okay. Well, some work was done. I don't know.
Some items were addressed.
Thank you. Greenery and fencing. Greenery, fencing, and signage remain open. Tenant has not returned to board.
Yeah.
We keep it simple like that. As agreed.
As, yeah.
So while some items are addressed, greenery, fencing, and signage remain open items. And tenant has not returned to board as agreed. We could do one more pass individually by email,
Yeah.
okay. 55 Main Street, the tenant met with the board at our September meeting and the violations were explained in detail. The board asked the tenant to remove all faux plastic greenery from the side of the building. The tenant explained that there is raw plywood underneath it and said he would ask the building owner to install. Does it need a building owner?
No. I don't know how important all of this detail is. I just kind of like wrote everything I remembered and figured.
Install single siding to match the rest of the building.
Go ahead, finish that.
So the board agreed the area could get covered with wood panels. The tenant agreed to come back to the board at the next meeting to offer options to cover the metal fence posts that had been installed during the construction of the fence. The board agreed to allow the fence to otherwise remain intact. The tenant has not removed the faux greenery and did not appear at the meeting. So we did definitely say with both of these guys, they both said like, yeah, I'll be right back. I'll be at your next meeting.
For sure he did.
Okay.
Cozy Corner, I'm not positive. I feel like it was a little ambiguous because they were coming here to ask us for the awning and we denied the awning. And then we were like, also, you have all this stuff. So that part I'm not sure about, but what was clear is what we asked.
And that and also,
I mean,
what
you
we
said
felt-
come back, look into the signage, cause that was. Like,
Right.
does the menu count as a sign? Like, you have a lot of signage, like, come back to us. So, so what I didn't include in that is the window thing, which is a pretty glaring thing, which I,
But this is the foundry, the windows at the foundry.
yeah, I mean, do
Should be
we,
included.
that should be included, right? Like-
Alteration to the fabric of the
Yeah,
building.
and a lie that was
Like I'm
communicated.
more worried about that
us.
You
than.
mean sometimes applicants lie to us?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I get little like fibs and stuff. I get it. I do. Like, it is like ask for forgiveness sometimes is like better, but also. I mean, it's significant to me.
Well,
You
well-
you lose all goodwill when you come in here and you
And you lie.
completely lie to our faces. Like, there's no goodwill left. And that's kind of how I feel about 159, 161. Like, to come in here, like you knew you needed a building permit. You knew all of this stuff. So I'm like, at this point, I feel pretty strongly that
you
these
know-
people should be fined if they don't correct what they've been flagged at.
Right. Maybe what we should do is, slim this down to, things which we feel should, applicants who should be fined.
Well. I mean, there's two different things happening here. There's new violations and there's an update on old. Do you wanna
Right.
break it into two different letters and submit?
Yes.
it? Because the new violation thing, we could send probably tomorrow or soon. Well, no, we wanna wait and, well, that's the thing. We just said we wanted to have the lawyer talk about this or to the signage thing or,
The number.
Why don't we wait for the new violations then,
okay.
and then just address the ones that are existing?
So
this
hold
is-
off.
what is that
We'll have
like?
like a December
we're not-
letter.
Right,
Sending out stuff that's not gonna get closed.
right.
So we'll have a December letter to them about any new
After we-
violations.
So yeah, after we speak with the lawyer.
So do they want, is it helpful for the board to understand what was asked and what they haven't done? Or can we simply say like, these tenants, these people haven't returned to us and they've open violations?
Well, which one are you talking about?
Like for the foundry, for example,
Oh,
they
it's
said
not
that they
temporary.
didn't do it, and we have photographic evidence that they did, right?
I mean, especially just because Kathleen was like a member of this board for a long time and has a very significant interest in the look and feel of the village in general, like, I kind of feel like it is helpful to have the details. Personally.
Well, I mean, I think when it comes to stating that we feel that they should be fined, I think we need to get into detail.
Okay, so we have not, we're almost there, right?
I
But
mean,
Al, you're saying into detail, not about the fine, but about what
What's taking place?
what remains open. Okay.
It's
well,
hard to argue for.
the ones that we feel should be fined, we need to have detail because it may turn into a legal issue. And, we need to have the justification for,
So that's why, yeah,
I think before we say these people need to be fined, we simply need to say, here's a copy of our letter from last month. And these three people need to come back to us immediately, otherwise we're going to have to recommend that they're fined.
I agree.
Well,
Solid letter of consent,
yeah.
and get your file copy.
here's why I would disagree with that, because
We got 'em.
I think that's another step. I think that we should recommend, that they be fined. And I would assume that the village board is going to say, you've been cited and, the HDRB is recommending that you be fined,
Okay.
can you
okay.
respond to this?
Yeah,
So I think, that's gonna be part of the process that goes forward. But I think that, we need to go on record and saying, enough's enough.
so I think I have a thing about that.
okay, so let me get.
right.
Yeah, last two paragraphs, okay, so I'm just gonna read the rest straight
Yeah.
through. 72 Main Street, the non-compliant signage at 142 Main Street has been removed, that's confusing. 'Cause of the
Oh, did I
confusing.
typo?
The board requested that further action be taken at 40 Main Street, which is the apothecary where no response has been received from building owner. The board would like to request that a standard be instituted by VBOT wherein a timeline is formalized for building owners, tenants who are found to be in non-compliance to come into compliance. This would allow fines to be instituted in a fair manner for owners and tenants who ignore violation notices and or do not follow forward instructions after meeting with us. The board would also like to request the VBOT work with Main Street business owners to educate them on the rules and regulations on the temporary signage being erected on village property, e.g. at the entrance to the tunnel at the bottom of at the bottom of Main Street where train passengers enter the village. The proliferation of such temporary signage, which can be considered both wayfinding and advertising, is a concern to the district.
And that's a separate letter unto itself.
Three. This is letter 2.
So we want to send letter 2.
And 3, right?
Well, I think we should send one letter which deals with sort of long-standing applicants or applicants who ignore us, applicants who have over a period of time not responded to our requests. We should ask the village board to find them.
So
Then-
that's letter 2.
Mhm.
The outstanding violations, and I mean, these are at all different, right? One never responded to the June letter, one came in August, one came in September, one came in October. Are we asking them to lump them all in the same bucket? Or are we gonna say, as of this letter submitted on October 30th or whatever, we would like to ask, or we would like to formalize or set some standard, because I mean, I've been on this board 5 years and this is the very first time we've issued any violations. So this is like new territory for recent memory.
Well, we have in fact imposed fines in the past.
Okay.
But the issue is that we should probably agree amongst ourselves, what is the timeline for imposition of the fines?
It's so funny because it really depends on the work at hand, right? So if
Yeah.
it's like fine went up and it shouldn't have, and you just come in and get it approved or you take it down, 3 months seems okay. But if
Right.
it's bigger than that, 6 months seems more appropriate.
All right, so then what we're saying is that basically it's gonna be our judgment.
I mean, I feel like a 3 month, I feel like 3 months is fair. And then further to that, if there is goodwill shown by whomever the property owner or whoever made the violation, i.e. the apothecary, they're just ignoring, right? So if they had come to us and then talked to about it. No, I know, but that's what I'm saying, where we are able to use our discretion, but a 3 month standard set feels fair. And then if somebody as long as, in my opinion, as long as like within that 3 month window of being notified, that you begin the dialogue and you're showing goodwill and you're saying, okay, we will come before you. We're sorry we did this. We didn't know, whatever. Like, what do you want us to do? We have the dialogue. Maybe they don't come back the next month, but they come back the following month. Like, and there's a dialogue and this is all happening. To me, we use our discretion but then that's a gray area legally. So I don't know.
It also makes it hard when people are taking advantage of the
Yeah.
system, right? Because it's like, oh, came in and said hi.
But how do you really allow
Why
like
don't
a,
you say, sorry.
no, that's okay.
Let's do. I think we need to decide amongst ourselves that an applicant needs to be fined. I don't know if we need to identify any specific objective criteria. I think we just need to feel that it is appropriate.
Use that question.
Well, and then, I think that we need to be able to articulate the reasons why we think a fine is appropriate. So I think,
Yeah.
and I think that is what goes into the letter to the village board, saying that we feel, we have tried to reach out to this applicant and they don't respond, or they tell us lies. And, we think that enough's enough and, unless they respond to us, we think a fine should be imposed within a week.
Yeah, I mean, I think that, I guess in this situation, it does feel like with these couple applicants, a bit more of a warning is maybe given to them, because I don't think anybody would ever fathom that they could potentially be like, have a $500 a day. I mean, that's a very, very high number, and to off the bat, just kind of ask for that without like a bit of a warning to these people, I don't know.
All right, so then now we're identifying the process. The process is that once we're pissed off enough at an applicant, we issue them a warning letter.
After they are issued the violation
Yeah,
formally.
right. Well, and don't we have, isn't that the case with these applicants that we're talking about?
Well, we sent the letter in June to the trustees, and then as I understand it, the building department or somebody, yeah, I mean, we didn't send the
Did they
letter.
go by, do you know, Abby, did they go by certified letter? Like, how do we know that everybody receives these?
That's a good question. I can't answer that. I do know that typically after a while I do receive a response, and what they do is, most of the times they'll give me a copy of the violation that was issued.
Is the response addressed to the village board of trustees or to the building department, do you know?
Building department and.
Building department. Yeah, they issue the violation, I mean, that makes sense.
So what we need to do is go up and beat up Greg Winter.
Oh.
Is he big?
Have to see when you go to beat them up, right? Yeah, so they are directed, okay. They are directed to the village clerk to begin the process of obtaining a building permit. And then they are also directed to the building department's office for any questions or additional information they may need.
Which means that the signage that came up for Cozy Corner hasn't actually started the process. They've been given a letter, but we haven't, as far as we know, seen any evidence that they started to go through the building department. If they
Oh,
came
yeah,
in here
they haven't done anything since they were here.
specific- But they came in here specific for the awning,
Yeah.
so they didn't even get here, like you said, because
Right.
of the signage.
Is
Right.
Linda Valentine's, does she still work for the building department?
Yes, she does.
Okay, because she used to be, here, so, maybe what we do, because I would assume she handles all of the administrative stuff for the building department.
Yes.
So she'd be able to tell us if, applicants have responded to the summons or the, violations.
If they've written back, sure, but I think a valid response would also just be sending in a building permit.
Sure, either one, yeah.
Yeah.
If they wrote back, hey, what do I need to do, or if they submitted a building permit, either way, it would show they've started something.
Mhm.
So we need to set up a process where we can double check with the building department to see if they have in fact communicated with the building department. Okay. So now, how are we doing with the email? Have we broken it into two parts?
It's, just simply says letter one, letter two, letter two.
I can break it into 3 separate documents,
Okay,
but I think the fine thing is what needs to be resolved. Maybe right now, if possible, like how we want to phrase that.
who is it that we're recommending imposing fines on?
I mean, I was asking for, I thought that we would needed to ask them for a standard. There are 4 properties right now that are in violation at varying stages of coming before us. So Apothecary had never responded. Cozy Corner came before us in August. Foundry Rose came before us in September, and 159 Main, what's that?
And denied that.
And denied that they did the work, and 159 Main came before us last week, so we're basically in a August, September, October timeline for 3 of the people.
Okay,
And the maximum is 5 months.
And the maximum is since June, yeah. Which is no response.
okay. All of those, we should probably put in the monthly report. But I think that before we start recommending a fine, let me reach out to Linda Valentine to see if they have gotten back to us for any, or if they have gotten back to the building department.
Should we request at a minimum then, if we table the fine language for now, should we request at a minimum that the building department reach out to Foundry Rose and to Cozy Corner and to 40 Main, the Apothecary, which are the 3
Well,
businesses
do
that have
we-
now
Yeah, do we,
are stonewalling, basically?
well, do we know that the building department took any action based on our referral to them?
I mean, they must have, because the other ones came before us. Like Foundry Rose knew they were in violation, that's why he came before us. Cozy Corner, I think they did know, they just came to ask us for the awning, so like,
Or, or just the building owner knew, because there's a tenant.
or just. Right, yeah. So I don't know for 40 Main Street, the Apothecary, I don't know. If it wasn't sent certified, was it lost by USPS? That's like a whole other. Like, we don't know, so I feel like we should ask that the building department
Okay,
at least send a follow-up.
yeah, what I'll do is, I'll talk to Linda and see if I can understand what they wind up doing when we refer stuff to them. Because I guess the question is, at this particular point, we sent, our complaints or recommendations to the village board. But in essence, what we should be doing is sending it to the building department.
Yeah, I guess I just assume that the board, the trustees should be aware of what's happening, so
Well-
maybe they're CC'd.
Right, because she's the one who told us to write this, asked us to write this letter, right?
Yeah,
In the first.
so maybe, are you submitting our monthly update in the next week or something?
Yeah, I think
Okay.
I do it by Thursday.
So you can copy and paste the text, the text about the 4. Sorry, the 4 buildings, right,
Mhm.
into our letter,
Or
the
scoundrels.
4 scoundrels, and then do we just simply, add a sentence at the end of that saying the board requests that VBOT asks the building department to send follow-ups to these 4,
We can do that, yeah.
since that's how it happened in June. We sent it to the trustees, they obviously sent something to the building department who sent out these violations, so we ask them, at least for now, this way, and then we have
Yeah.
a record. A record of, whatever, November 1st, Board of Trustees meeting. Our update was,
Yeah, I think that, we should press on all available venues or avenues that we have.
and then you'll find out maybe from this person at the building department, like, I mean, hopefully it's sent out by certified mail so that there is a proof of it being sent and delivered, because otherwise, yeah.
Yeah.
Where are we?
They might not know otherwise.
Linda. Yeah, because I would assume that they have a standard process as far as issuing violations.
Right. So
What we need is, what I would say,
So I'm not saying
That's
anything
not
about the
funny.
fine. I'm just
I don't think so. I think we're gonna,
follow up.
well, I think that what we need to do is start building the documentation for a fine.
Right.
And
I guess I was looking at this next update as being some kind of like milestone kind of, or like new start to all of the violations, that then they could all be informed, this is our standard. If you like show good faith and come before us and start working through this, you're good, but if you don't, you have 90 days before you start getting fined. I think that was kind of what I was like, since we've got June, August, September, October, and then a bunch of new ones, like, I thought that maybe now could serve as like sort of you are all on warning kind of point.
Right.
But it's
Okay,
a bit complex, so
all right,
if you wanna
so,
hold off on the fine thing, we can.
well, I think that, it doesn't hurt to mention it, but, we gotta make sure that they have been issued notices of violation. So you're gonna include it on the thing, I'll follow up with Linda and see if I can find out what the process is and how we can make it more useful.
And maybe ask her, like, can the board be copied, can an email of whatever violation is be sent to us?
It should be sent.
It should be sent, so we have,
At the very least.
yeah, like if they're issuing a violation, a digital form should be sent to us, so we all collectively have it, right? And we can
Just like why-
easily reference like, oh, no, this was sent on June 5th, or,
You have Linda's telephone number,
Mhm.
can you give that to me?
845.
Okay, one last thing. And do I have a motion concerning the October 21st minutes of?
how did we?
Yeah, to confirm.
Yeah, I know we started.
You
on
added a
that.
sentence.
Applicant to building department.
Said applicant to building department.
No, that's the next step. So a nicer way to say that.
Yeah, you wanted to say the applicant with, oh,
With
no, it says
approval.
that. It says that in the next paragraph. The applicant agreed to withdraw his application, submit supporting materials to address the violation in the near
Or-
future. Maybe it should say to the building department.
Yeah, so it's applicant,
Um,
I change it actually in here. which
Or
is
any
funny. I
new
think it's important we make it
application.
clear we rejected the application.
Oh, right.
Did we actually officially vote and reject it, or he withdrew it?
We formally vote on that, or did we not even, I don't even know if we did, because I think he just agreed to withdraw it.
Yeah,
It's been better. if
but,
we rejected
I
it,
mean,
think.
we could say the board communicated that that as built, it would not, that's.
Oh, that's what we wanted to
That's what
add.
we wanted to add.
Right.
Do I have a motion concerning the minutes as modified?
As Lauren is currently modifying our motion to approve the minutes, as Lauren is currently modifying.
Second that.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, so Lauren, you're gonna be preparing the minutes?
Yeah. Who wants to read through this for Abby? You wanna read my chicken scratch?
I moved,
If you can read it, just.
adjourn our meeting.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I moved.
Maybe I should put
And
that.
it was-
I've been told some things about my handwriting.
Oh, no.
I don't care.
Apparently. Seconded the adjournment?
I did. Lauren, did you eye the adjournment?
Yes. Hi.
It passed 4-0.